YouTube, it's Mitch. This video is going to be about how to make you become a better free throw shooter. Myself, I am a middle school basketball coach, and I really emphasize being a really good free throw shooter. I mean, a good shooter overall, but I really emphasize being a good free throw shooter and just the basic skills on how all the mechanics of your body work. So I'm going to take you on the court and show you how to become a better free throw shooter, okay? When I try to teach people how to become a good free throw shooter, I usually start from the legs and work my way all up the way to the head and everything in between. And yep, even concerning the head, and I'll tell you what that is in a second. But to start off at the very bottom of our feet, we want to try to keep our feet about shoulder length apart. And depending if you're right-handed or left-handed, it's good to have that shooting foot, whatever. If you're left-handed, my foot is usually maybe a foot in front of my right foot. And for right-handers, your right foot should be maybe a foot in front of your left. And again, shoulder width apart. Okay, so now when we get to your knees, you want to keep your knees slightly bent. You don't want them straight, you want them bent so you can get a good push-off. Get that ball going up to the hoop. So when you have your feet ready, your knees should be slightly bent to push that ball up. Okay, now we've covered the feet and we've covered the knees. Now let's go to your arms and your hands. When I watch people play darts, their elbow is straight in and they're aiming that dart right toward the target. It should be the same thing with basketball. If you're shooting that ball toward the hoop and that hoop is your target, your elbow should be as straight in as you can have it, and your arm should go straight forward. So, if you think about it logically, if your arm is pointing straight at the basket and it is coming forward, if you're going to miss, I think the only logical way to miss would be to either be too short or too long. If your arm is straight, we shouldn't be off to the side, and then that sometimes happens with your wrist, and I'll get to that in a second. Okay, with your wrist, in the video you're going to see that my wrist, when I shoot the ball and the ball comes off of my hand, you're going to see the wrist kind of be like this, where looks like I'm reaching into the cookie jar. That's what the basketball world calls that, when your wrist is pointing down and it looks like you're grabbing something out of a jar. Your wrist has to have follow through so we get that ball going straight at the hoop. And lastly, I thought we would talk about the head. Your brain has to also play a part in being a good free throw shooter. In the athletic world, we call it muscle memory. You have to give your brain and your muscles something to remember. So I always encourage my players to have some kind of routine before they shoot a free throw, whether that is spin the ball, bounce it once, bounce it twice. Always give your body, your muscles, your brain some kind of memory technique to know, hey, we're going to be shooting a free throw. That's right, I remember what to do. It's kind of like riding a bike. Your body just needs to have that memory in order to get everything in sync. So when you are ready to put everything together, just tell your brain, you know what, I'm going to spin the ball once, I'm going to bounce it twice, and that'll always be my muscle memory. And hopefully you'll be a good free throw shooter. So right now I'm going to go onto the court and let's see how many out of 10 I can make using all of these strategies. Okay, let's see if I can put all of my strategies to the test and see how many I can make out of 10. My muscle memory technique will be to bounce it twice. 1 out of 1. 2 out of 2. 3 out of 3. 4 out of 4. 5 out of 5. 6 out of 6. Seven out of 7. Oh, that was in. 7 out of 8. 8 out of 9. Oh, get in there. 9 out of 10. 90%, not bad.